We don't have our egg whites. We don't have our eggs. We don't have our Prima Bolin. What the fuck is happening?
Well,
We're making moves on the move. We applied for a house that wasn't a scam this time, so
good.
it's good. We don't know if we have it yet, like to rent. We should know within the next week, and then we're planning on making a little trip up there, like a little 4-day weekend trip to move up like a good bit that like we just don't use around here. Like I have
Yeah.
all my like clothes I just don't wear and like little pieces of furniture that we can just like put in the house and then
hmm
yeah. And I'm excited. That's coming up so fucking soon, man. Like 5 weeks.
I'm excited to have you in South Carolina. You
Do you
know,
have
like it's nice to have like a friend that's like local.
do you
Mhm.
have a well, are you guys gonna be like near each other, near each other?
It's about 3 hours.
hmm
Yeah, it's kind of like Miami to Tampa
hmm
distance, but it's not bad. Like driving in South Carolina compared to Florida. Like I'm so ready for a change. I think this is going to be so nice. Just the environment change in the
hmm
gym is going to be so different. The people there. I mean, I love my friend group here, but like, I mean, like the people, like in like the markets and like on the roads and all that. Florida's just not it for me. It never felt like home to me, you know? So I'm excited. I'm ready.
Very
I
nice.
hear ya. I hear ya. Dude, there is something to be said for just like being in a house versus
Mhm.
being in a home. You know what I'm saying? Like they're the same word, but completely different meanings in my opinion. Because one, it's like you're living there. You live your life, you do your shit. But in the other one, you find home, you find peace, you find comfort. And it's like, I know I'm a homebody because I love my home. My home is peace. It's where I found, where I find center, where I'm grounded. So it's like when you're able to create that safe space for yourself, it's like it's just so like it's such a stress relief. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. Yeah. And this one we're gonna have like a backyard and stuff, so it's gonna feel more homey for
Have
sure.
you
Mhm.
found a particular place you're going to be moving to?
Yeah, it's Greenbelt, South
No, no,
Carolina.
no. I mean, like, is it like sort of like mine that it's like a house that's different units, or is this an a apartment complex or
It's a house. It's just one
full
standalone.
house to yourself?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, we'll have like I think it's like 3 bed, 2.5. It's like it's pretty big.
How
Um,
much did you say the rent was for that?
1950 a month.
That's not
Yeah.
bad.
No, we pay
Mm-mm.
2,700 here for what we have. So
Mm-mm.
I mean, the house that we got scammed on was gonna be 1750, and we were like, fuck yeah, but we got scammed. So
hmm
For
makes
the
sense.
extra $200 a month, I think it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
will say the one thing that's shit about living in the Carolinas that no one prepares you for is the car tax. So be prepared for that. Next time you pay taxes, when you live in South Carolina, if you have a nice car, you're gonna have to pay more to own that car in the state. Like legit, we had a 1999, I think, maybe even older Honda Accord. That was Eric's dad. He bought brand spanking new. And it was like gifted down to us. And obviously, with it being like older than dirt, like literally our yearly taxes was like $13.
Yeah.
Me buying Ronnie, the taxes for him just to own him in the state is $1,000.
Wow.
Just to own a truck.
Dang.
Yeah.
Wonder if it's different with like
It's similar in Massachusetts.
interesting.
Dude, in Ohio, you didn't have that fucking shit. Like they were like, "Oh, you bought a truck, congratulations." But like now it's like you want to own something and be proud of that property. It's like, fuck you, pay us more money.
What if you got it?
I'm
Um,
looking that up right now.
yeah, like what if we didn't go to like a dealership and get
Doesn't matter.
list doesn't
It's the
matter.
appraisal value. I
Oh,
know, isn't that shit? So
but it
like
was used.
it doesn't
Or was
matter.
it used?
It's the
Oh,
appraisal. So like they go around and appraise your shit, and then they'll be like, taxes.
So this is saying the tax on a car in Mass is 10% of the worth of the vehicle.
Yep. Or
mm.
something stupid like that.
What year is yours though, Ash?
2024. for. So like granted it's brand new, so duh, it's gonna be worth a lot more. And obviously it will depreciate as he gets
Yeah.
older, but still, I'm like, I don't like the idea of being like fiscally responsible and like especially buying a truck as a homeowner. Like that just makes sense because you're gonna be towing things to and fro. But like to be punished for that after already paying like oodles of taxes to buy the goddamn thing, I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
Excise tax be like that.
yeah.
Well, did you see what Ohio is trying to do though? They're trying to pass a law where you can do up to $1,500 for a gym membership and like get like a tax break for it. I was like, dog, well, look, make that like a nationwide thing. Like,
Oh, just by the state, you're saying?
yeah, I saw that in
Health and
Ohio.
a lot of health insurances will do that.
I
I
don't know
don't
if
think
it's a
it's
health
that much money
insurance.
though.
I mean, like my HSA is like there's like obviously like a tax benefit to going through insurance, absolutely. But I think it's like a statewide mandate where it's like if you have a gym membership that is like
Okay.
for your total taxes, you can get like
Did,
a write-off. Like that's pretty cool.
did you just say you have an HSA?
Well, I don't, Eric does.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean like
I
because
was like, who's employing you? From where? Why don't I have this?
yeah, it's because I'm yeah, the wife. There's benefits to being the wife. Being like, insurance, please.
Yeah.
I just ride that hard. Yeah, I was like, I got dental, we got eyesight, got some other stuff like general health, but we don't have like the good stuff like dermatology or anything like that. That's what I would want. I want free facials. That isn't the nasty facials, the good facials.
It's technically a good facial. It's good for skin rejuvenation, apparently. Apparently. I don't do that, apparently.
Laura's like, I don't know what's happening. It's
Yeah,
okay.
I turned my head for a second to shut the window and I came back to mayhem. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, yeah, it's okay. Just talking about, ejaculating on people's faces.
Oh,
Huh.
facials. That's the facial you're talking
That's the
about.
facial, the facial, the standard facial.
Hmm.
I don't know. Speaking of, I don't know. I can't think of transition from faces to like the
Facial.
Arnold. But how do we feel about the Arnold results?
I agree. I
Hmm.
agree with that. If we're are we talking about the big boys, right? We're talking about Samson and Derek.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree. I think Derek definitely had it for sure.
Hmm.
I think when it comes to Samson, like he was more full from like the Olympia. He definitely put on size, which is nuts because that guy is already like huge. Um, but I think, Derek just came in leaner and more conditioned. And I think he'll always have that advantage over a lot of competitors.
Hmm.
He's
I
short.
mean, what?
Is Derek short?
He's like
Oh,
type
he's so
six.
short.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I have a video of him spotting me in
That's
the squat, and he was like this short. He's so short.
I'm just
But
thinking Samson's so much bigger than him
Dude,
then.
so
He's tall,
big.
right? He's like 6'1", 6'2".
He's
yeah,
huge. Yeah.
and then the amount of mass he carries for that size
Hmm.
without looking stringy is insane.
Hmm.
He's also black.
Agreed. Agreed. What about wellness? Laura, did you follow that?
I sure did. Well, it's
How'd you think?
interesting because the Olympia was not that long ago.
Yeah.
So we're kicking Fran out of first and putting Issa in first, and now we're kicking Issa out of first and putting Eduarda in first.
Eduarda was beautiful. I loved her presentation.
She was.
Oh yeah.
But then I'm like, so does that mean Eduarda is going to be the new Miss Olympia? Because that's kind of what it's implying. But I don't know, man. I love Issa, but I don't think Fran should ever gotten kicked out to begin with.
I agree. I
Unless
think
they're just trying to spice it up. I don't know.
could be. And I think they finally have solidified what they're looking for in wellness 100%. And
Yes.
it's actually confirming to me that I would never have been good at wellness. Like they're definitely going for a softer, quote unquote, smaller
Yeah.
look for sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, like I know you guys are love Fran, and it's not that I don't love Fran, but like I have always preferred Issa over Fran. But then like when I saw Eduarda, it's like I mean I've always been a super fan of Issa, but then when I saw Eduarda, I was like,
I would say
okay.
Eduarda and Fran are more comparable
Mhm. I agree.
physiques. So that'll be interesting. And all legit, they look alike too. So having them side by side is going to be interesting.
Mhm.
Honestly, for me, and like little different than like your take from that on wellness is like, I don't want to say giving me more confidence, but making me feel a little bit less far away than I had initially felt. Because like I'm never going to be one of the big girls. That's just not genetically me
Mhm.
either. But also now questioning like, do I run it and just see where I land? Because like how far off am I? I have no idea.
Yeah. I mean, I think this goes to show, Lauren, that you don't need to be the biggest. You
Yeah.
know,
Mhm.
um, Lisa, Lisa is short. She's a stuffed little
She's
unit.
the same height as me.
Yeah.
Crazy.
She, she,
Mhm.
to me, that's for wellness. Obviously, there's bigger girls who are kind of pushing the limits where they probably should do WPD,
Mm.
Yeah.
but I think she is a bigger wellness girl. And same like Ryan, right? Is it Ryan or
I
Ryan?
thought it was Rayanne.
I can't
Ryan.
pronounce people's name. I'm not
And
a fan.
I love their physiques. I think they're beautiful.
Oh yeah.
However, I do understand like I almost feel like they need another category. And I know that sounds crazy because we have so
We
many
don't need any more
comparative.
categories for women.
But
I'm
that's
sorry.
stuff a different body. So like then where do those women go that don't want to be more muscular up top? Like, do you tell them all to shrink? What do you do in that scenario?
Yeah, that's what you do. I'm sorry, but I do not want another women's division. Like we don't need another one. What we need is clear cut criteria that is established and honored across all divisions. And I understand that's going to take time. So we need to give it the time that it takes. But it's like not everyone's going to get a participation trophy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you're too big up top, then yeah, you need to downsize. You do need to lose mass, right? Like our girl Mina, like we were like all scratching our head, like why the fuck did she lose? And our feedback is your upper body was too big. And it's like you if you look at that, and it's like, God, I would want to have that upper body, but the judges didn't want to see it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that is just like part of the sport and part of like their critique and the feedback that again, it's not personal. It's you're playing a sport. This is the criteria. You right now don't fit it. But it doesn't mean we need another division to make everyone happy. We just need to solidify what's already there, which I understand is frustrating, but it's just going to take time, especially because we have to remind ourselves wellness is still fairly new if you compare to all the other divisions. Like bikini is still new in terms of like we just had like women's fucking bodybuilding and now it's like we have all the other ones. So it's like that's my take on it.
I think you're going to see a lot more women starting to transition back to women's physique.
Dude, I hope so. I hope the fuck we start to see a resurgence of WPD and figure. I hope that the girls that are like, oh, it's no longer just like big quads and wellness, it is still emphasizing bigger glutes. I hope the women that are like, oh, well, I still want big legs, they just go the fuck up. Like, I miss figure and WPD and women's bodybuilding being promoted. I don't like and appreciate how, and again, I'm the little bikini bitch. I don't like how it's just like mass population in these smaller divisions, thinking that it's going to be easier, when in reality, it's like the whole point of bodybuilding is to build up the physique. And so it's like, I would rather empower those women to, yes, we want to see bigger females within a certain shape, within a certain box. So that way the sport grows, not like I don't know how to like show this, but like you know how there's like a big dip in the women's bigger divisions and a big resurgence in the smaller divisions. It's like I'd rather see it flatlined. That way all athletes across every division is honored and representative of the sport because I miss that. Like I am so sad that figure is dwindling. Like that makes me so sad because if I could be a figure bitch, oh,
Yeah, but
let's
if that
go.
if that were to be the case, they would have to go back and rearrange the like older standards, like what
Sure.
they used to look for figure. Because I do think a lot more women would be, if it was more of Nicole Wilkins type physique, like back
Mhm.
in the day, like that is more appealing and a lot less drugs needed to achieve that.
Uh-huh.
And I
Mm-hmm.
understand women not wanting to risk that because, like, look at Meg. Meg's a genetic freak. She can get
Mm-hmm.
away with not having to run a ton of gear and be that size. Most women
Agreed.
cannot do that.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's actually something I wanted to talk about, but to touch on what you guys are saying, like I think a lot of it, the lot of shift that we saw of like these bigger, muscular women wanting to go into wellness, like myself and like a lot of other WPD girls and even figure saying like, oh, I want to do wellness now is because in society, that shape for a female is more accepted. So that's why they're like shifting gears towards that. I don't think it's really something in bodybuilding that we're not. I mean, obviously, the Arnold not having WPD is kind of shitty to me. I think it does kind of it's just not very inclusive because the Arnold is such a big show. I understand not having WPD at every pro show,
Hmm.
but to not have it at that level, it's like, dang, that is like a knock at more muscular females, 100%. I
Yeah.
agree. But I just think a lot of competitors see it as like, oh, society thinks that muscle is bad and that I need to look this way. But
Right.
I think we get clouded by that 100% as competitors. But when it comes to the different classes, something I'm noticing transitioning into WPD and like just being more aware of the competitors in my division now. I'm not like really seeking them out, but obviously like they're popping up more often in my explore page
Hmm.
is that there's still like I don't understand like the criteria. I think competitors in WPD get confused too because I see some girls who are like jacked, and
Yeah.
I'm like, you could be bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And that's where it's like WPD is more about the shape, the conditioning.
Mhm.
It's really not like the girls, like there's some WPD girls who aren't that big,
Yeah.
but they get shredded to the bone and they have like these crazy insertions and it's nutty. They couldn't compete in fucking wellness or figure, you know?
Yeah.
But I think the same thing goes for wellness. It's not a size game, you know, it's conditioning and shape and
Mhm.
shape.
I think what we should do to help the sport is I think we should have girls, women on this podcast that are bodybuilding and WPD who are like really, really good, but maybe lesser known because they're never given a fucking chance because of just the lack of shows. Like I would love to hear from them, like how they live their lives and what they do and how they feel about not being fairly represented. Jesus. Because that's something that I feel like is not given enough attention. Because it's like I want to hear from the women who have paved the way for smaller divisions like me. Because
Mhm.
like if there wasn't women's bodybuilding, like the bigger conditioned women, like back especially like early on, like there never would have been a fucking bikini. There never would have been a wellness. So it's like I feel like we owe a lot to the women that did put themselves out there, that did want to really push the limits of their physique and physiology to put on muscle, whether natural or enhanced, and like literally learn from them. I feel like that would be so fucking cool if we did that.
I think that would be sweet too, for sure. Um, and you said something, Laura, about like the PEDs. Like obviously, not everybody has the same genetics. Like me, I can get away with less PEDs than probably most WPD girls. But I had like a question yesterday on my Q&A asking like, oh, how has your PED cycle or whatever
Mm.
switched now that you're WPD?
Yeah.
And it didn't make sense to me either when Cameron initially told me that I was going to have to use more drugs to go further in wellness. I was like, huh? Like that makes no sense. But it was because of the amount of stimulus I would have to drive with my lower, and my upper just grows like a weed.
Yeah,
So I didn't have to push more drugs, and we won't have to, you know?
yeah.
Maybe different compounds now that I have to like get peeled and like look drier and stuff, but it's
Meg's like,
still
yo, let's go with that super draw and a draw. Just woof.
like I'm not gonna have to use like fucking trend now like WPD, you know. I feel like people just get it's like a misconception. It's like, oh, bigger muscular class means you need to drive more gear. It's like,
Yeah.
no, you need to work harder. But yeah.
Argue that you probably have that more dependent on one, just how you respond to gear in general,
Yeah.
and two, what your body naturally is more towards. And that's honestly, that's why it made sense to me when you told me he said that, because your body more naturally falls into an upper, more
Yeah,
muscular category.
Hmm.
yeah, I got that linebacker. I've always had that. And by the way, I just looked so wide on stage. Like, it was just like this freaking wide bitch.
See, I still don't fit fucking anywhere. I can turn inside out. Like I could do that even when I was taking nothing, but I'm still too small for any fucking category. God damn it.
I mean, like you're too small maybe right now for wellness in the quad division, but you're definitely too big for bikini. Like
Yeah.
it would just you would stick out like a sore thumb.
But you've put on some damn mass. You posted that like that one it was literally like a couple days ago, your transformation from
Yeah.
the past year. Dude, like I know we talk about it all the time, but you need to give yourself a little bit more credit because
Yeah.
you have put on some decent size for sure.
Thank you.
It's slower for some people. Like and that's just the name of the game, man. But
Listen, if I could be running Anadrol, I would be doing it, but I
what a
can't.
draw.
Anything I try backfires. So there's that.
Yeah. Dude, speaking of like lately, I feel like sources are really granted, I don't know if it's the sources or just like where the sources source, but lately Primo has been
Yeah.
test P out the asshole, and I'm like, y'all, fuck y'all. Fuck y'all and y'all test P.
Someone was actually recently telling me about this as to why.
Oh yeah, give us the deets because literally I've had like so many athletes. I'm in the board of like testing your gear now. Like listen, like I get if you're gonna use gear, like you're already opening yourself up to risk. But I was always like testing on the fence because then that gets on your credit card statements and you're like, why are you buying like things to test your steroids? Um, but now it's like with the amount of shit that's being faked, I'm like, test
There's
your.
a shortage of it, something to do with like there's one main supplier for Primobolan.
So you mean to tell me that we're short on our Prima Bolin and our goddamn eggs? Where will this madness end?
Right? I'm
No
in
more
Trader
egg
Joe's today and I
whites.
had 2 cartons. She was like, "Ma'am, you need to put one back." And I'm just looking at her like,
We don't have our egg whites. We don't have our eggs. We don't have our Prima Bolin. What the fuck is happening?
well, she said only one per person. I was like, one's for me, one's for Josh. What the fuck? Like,
Like
Gosh,
legit.
wasn't just for me
jeez.
though, you know.
I'm over this shit. Fucking bullshit.
Publix is the place. I went there the other day. They're loaded with eggs, pasture
But so
raised,
was Trader
free
Joe's,
range,
but they
all of
won't
it.
let you. That's the thing.
Dude,
Uh,
Costco didn't have my egg whites. I was like, excuse
We
me.
all know that
yeah,
anything
Sam's.
goes in Florida. They're gonna let you have as many eggs as you want. No one's telling you what to do.
I'll just take off my sweatshirt. Just like hold eggs.
Dude, just like
You
look at
would?
them. Just start.
Fantastic. Right now.
Just take Finn with you and be like, he will hump you. He will hump you to death.
Oh my.
Honestly, I think a random stranger would be like, "Oh, they're so cute."
Egg for you, egg for him. It's like fuck a pup cup. I want an egg. I want a pup egg. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Unbelievable.
Dude, it's crazy out there. That is for sure. But I've been eating a lot of eggs though. Speaking of eggs, like
God damn it,
I
that's
have
gonna be the clip. Eric's gonna hear that and he's like, that's the clip. Meg's been eating a lot of eggs.
been eating a lot of eggs. But like literally in the morning I have post workout I have two. So I have 4 eggs a day right now. I'm really excited to get my blood work done in like a couple weeks just to see my like cholesterol levels improve. I think that's gonna be sick to see.
Dude,
You're like,
real
no
talk.
more NSAIDs for me. Take my
That's
No,
like
I haven't
so
taken
good.
any in like, 3 weeks or 2 weeks now. 3 weeks, 3 weeks. I'm
I
waiting
got you.
for 5 clean weeks of NSAIDs. And the fact that I'm going to a show this weekend, so I'm 2 more weeks before I test the labs. Gonna be smart there.
I
Yeah,
love
I'm
it.
excited.
I love it. Yeah, dude. I think it's one of those things where it's just like I wish so many things when it comes to like the whole like egg thing, especially
Mhm.
because it was like eggs will give you bad cholesterol. And it's like what people don't understand about cholesterol is like I hate to play the genetic card, but a lot of it is so dependent on your goddamn genetics. Like I eat super clean or however the fuck you want to say it. My cholesterol is high. Like, but thankfully, especially since I started HRT with estrogen, my good cholesterol, my HDL was like a 20 and now it's like a 65. That's a
Mhm.
huge fucking win for me. But like my LDL and so therefore my total cholesterol is still a little higher. It's like 208, which still isn't high. You know what I'm saying? Like even like the functional practitioners want it between like 200 and like 250 in some cases. But still, it's like my mom is on cholesterol medication. My grandpa's on cholesterol medication. It's like cholesterol issues run in my family, but also like people are like, oh, well, yeah, it runs in my family, but also so do habits, which is why I made it a point to change my habits and change how I live my life. And thank God I did, or else if I was still a jackass with how I treated my body and my health, I probably would need cholesterol medication. You know what I'm saying? But like, I do also think it's frustrating where people get so like they view their lab work, especially if they're like doing what they're supposed to be doing and taking care of themselves, which is such a good thing. They view their lab results as a personal failing if they don't get an A plus across the board. And it's like it's not necessarily a personal failing. It's just like, how can we flip the mindset of thank God you do take care of yourself? Because imagine how much fucking worse the labs would look if you weren't taking care of yourself, eating right, exercising, not being a jackass with drugs, not forgetting your health supplements. But I do think sometimes people get, and I was definitely part of people, where you get so emotionally attached to your labs where you miss the fucking point of the lab work to begin with.
Oh yeah, for sure. And going back to that, the freaking lipids and cholesterol, LDL in total can be high.
Mhm,
It's fine. It's not a bad thing. You have to look at your triglycerides and your HDL.
mhm.
That's all. I mean, that's mainly all I look at when I look at lipids. If you have high LDL, high total, but your triglycerides to your HDL is a good ass ratio, you're fine. But people, doctors are, telling the people the other thing, and they are still saying that, oh, cholesterol, like LDL is the bad cholesterol. I'm like, shut up. Like that's not right.
Yeah.
But I think it's just people are misinformed. My God, that person almost hit the car.
Yeah, I think another thing that I like that you said, Meg, was the ratio. How many times do people, even some newer coaches, and I'm sure we all did this, where it's like we just saw like all the flagged shit and we just zeroed in on them without looking at the entire picture of the labs and the entire picture of the context of the athlete to figure out why the labs were skewed. Because that's like the secret in reading lab work is yes, understanding what they mean, and interpreting them, but also understanding why they're there in the first place. And then taking into consideration like the domino effect. Like, okay, why are the triglyceride HDL ratio, why is that not good? Are we inflamed? Are we obese? Do we have insulin resistance? Do we have hypothyroidism? It's like not just looking at the fact that, oh my God, I have high cholesterol, but like in reality, it's yeah, you have high cholesterol, but it's high because your HDL or your good cholesterol is in an ideal spot, and then your triglycerides are in a good spot, like making sure they're not like over 150. So I do think that's really good that you mentioned ratios because that even plays into like estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, not just being like cherry picking what you want to see and creating a problem, when in reality, it's how are they in comparison to everything else?
Mhm. Yeah. It's just people, what is it called? They miss the forest for the trees kind of thing. Is that it?
Mhm.
Yeah, I nailed it.
Yeah.
The first time I've ever nailed a saying. Hell yeah. But like
Hey,
they do,
Tarantula.
nah, we're not on that anymore. That was 2 weeks
She's like,
ago.
we passed that.
But yeah, it's, labs, I think having a coach or a practitioner who can analyze your labs and connect the dots, not just say, oh, this is high, this is low, this is like why this could be high.
Mhm.
There's a ton of different reasons why, our liver enzymes can be elevated that aren't tied directly to liver failure. Like I feel like people just jump ship and go straight to like, oh, I got freaking liver disease or colon
I have
cancer.
colon cancer. I was literally gonna be like, oh my God, I
Shit,
have colon
what?
cancer.
God. Like, but it's because we have the very black and white medical field.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, if you have
Extreme.
this, yeah, the
Yeah.
extremes.
They
Yeah.
So,
should
Like,
when you get labs done through your doctors, at least, and having a coach
yeah,
is a little bit different. They should have some type of like explanation because I'm just thinking about from like an everyday person's point of view. You get your labs through your patient gateway or whatever it is, and you see these things flagged, and you're sitting at home going, "Oh my God, oh my God, what do I do?" Like instead of a like, this is a summary, this is why, this is connected to this, look into these areas, as opposed to you're gonna die.
But Laura, the doctors don't know. That's the thing is doctors aren't rehearsed in health. They're rehearsed in treating disease. That's how they're taught, which is why coaches are so valuable as part of the medical industry because we're not treating cancer. We can't write prescriptions, but we can help establish baseline health. We see the other side of the coin. And then because we meet with our clients on a much more routine basis, as long as they're not ghosting us or you're not ghosting your client, um, we're able to meet with them and make sure that they're being held accountable. So, well, yes, I understand your point. It's like their doctor school is treated in disease prevention, or not disease prevention, disease treatment and management, not prevention. That's why we come in clutch because we know the more the preventative route. But no one wants to pay for it because no one wants to eat a fucking vegetable. They'd rather just pop a pill.
Yeah, exactly. They're more reactive to things, and we are, proactive. We're trying to make it so these ailments don't happen, or at
Yep.
least we can prevent it, like you said.
Yep.
And dude, like, I don't know. Some coaches, like I get it. I think reading and interpreting labs is one thing, but reading, interpreting, and applying it to your client is another thing. Because
Oh, yeah.
there's tons of books that can tell you, oh, if this is high, this is why. And if it's low, this is why. And you can literally spit it out to your client. Chat GPT it to, oh, what does this mean? Oh, that means X, Y, and Z. So you say that to your client. But Chat GPT doesn't know that your client, works night shift 4 days a week and her circadian
Hey,
rhythm is
yes, they
jacked.
do. Yes, it does. It knows that your client does it.
I hate it. I hate series. Ugh, but government's listening to it. But you know what I mean. You
Why you
don't
just got
know
blurred out? I don't know one word you just said.
what?
You got like up until right now, I couldn't understand a word you were saying.
Did you hear me, Ash?
I heard a little bit, but then it started to sound like you were eating butthole. Just
What the fuck?
I think you're
Like,
See?
oh
good
my
now. But
gosh,
yeah, I see your point. Like 100%. It's just like
I'm
again,
joining on my
it's the whole picture, it's the whole context. But then also to like some people, like when it comes to coaching, because coaches maybe don't understand the whole entire picture of physiology and what it means to read lab work, what do? Oh, here's a supplement. And it's like, maybe if we're doing everything else right, but like also looking at like the lifestyle intervention as well when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to programming cardio, when it comes to like all the other aspects of coaching. Like it's also on coaches to not just push pills too. And I'll give a great example. I had a client received her lab work. She was essentially like pescatarian, I think, where it's like she wouldn't eat meat, but she would do seafood and fish. And, I was like, listen, I respect your dietary wishes. So we need to add in like a beef liver spleen complex to support your iron and ferritin, especially because they were low when her labs were sent to me when we got started. So I was like, here is a supplement where we're going to need to utilize this to get these levels up because you are not going to be getting it from heme iron sources. In addition to the non-heme iron sources that we know with like, pairing spinach with vitamin C stuff like citrus fruits. We waited, didn't do much. Tried some other things in her programming. We tested again, didn't do much. I was like, okay, we need to have a heart to heart. Can you please explain why you don't like eating meat? I will respect it if it's a dietary wish or it turns you off or whatever, but I'm looking at your labs and what we're doing right now isn't working. We tried to pivot, we tried to work things out. Your ferritin and iron levels are still not where they need to be. And she's like, you know what? I'll be honest, I'm actually craving meat now. And I saw my labs because she is also in the health medical field. She's like, let's eat meat, but I still would like to eat seafood. I was like, done. How about we do one chicken and one beef meal, and the rest can be like seafood and Greek yogurt and eggs. She's like, perfect. So it is so important to have those conversations because it's like I could still push supplements on her, but at the end of the day, her body isn't taking to it in the way that it would benefit from whole food nutrition because we know that beef and chicken have way more benefits than just heme iron. So it's like it's helping her help her body. But a doctor's not going to do that. They're going to be like, oh, you have anemia. Go take some iron, and then they'll go on Amazon and pick an iron supplement that's likely trash, and it'll make them constipated, and then they'll get really frustrated, and then it just circles the shit drain. Hi, Megs, welcome back.
Hi, can you hear me on
Oh,
this?
you sound so much better.
Okay, I'm just not gonna have to be able to use my desktop, which sucks, but I don't know. We'll do it off my phone. That's fine. Sucks, but it is what it is. Um, what did I miss? What's going on?
It was
I
just
was kind of like piggybacking off of you, where it's like making sure as coaches we don't just like shove supplements like doctors would
Oh,
shove pills, and making sure that like we are looking at like our tools when it comes to dietary intervention, cardio programming, stress management, therapy. Because I think like
mhm.
that is the well-rounded client experience versus just the like conveyor belt of health where it's just like, oh, you have a problem, here's a pill, or oh, you have a problem, here's a supplement.
I agree. And I think a lot of doctors or yeah, Western medicine, like I guess like interventions or like therapeutic interventions for dealing with certain things is rooted in like, yeah, take this pill, take this supplement, or exercise more, or work on your stress management, but they don't actually help you
Yeah.
with how to do that because that's not their job. It's not to say that they're a bad doctor. It's just that's not their wheelhouse. And
Hmm.
that's why I think, you know, there are some medical professionals that are just like a health coach reading labs. Like, what merit do they have? Like, why are they doing that?
Yeah.
They don't have the credentials. It's like, neither do you. I know what nutrition classes look like for a doctorate program. It ain't it. Yeah, like, like I
Dude,
don't.
for sure. You know what's super frustrating is my mother-in-law texted me on Sunday, and this is like part one frustration where she was like, "My doctor told me to take a multivitamin. Which one do you recommend?" And I was like, "Okay, why did your doctor recommend multivitamin? What are you deficient in?" No response. Okay. So it's like, if you're gonna fucking recommend a multivitamin, can you like not be such a piece of shit? And can you just take like 2 fucking seconds to
Mhm.
Google a multivitamin just to like give to your client? But it's like no wonder people aren't taking care of their health, because it's like go take a multivitamin with no fucking like explanation or recommendation on what to do, and boom, on to the next patient. It's like, God
Mhm.
fucking damn it, y'all suck.
Yeah. I mean, it's honestly a big reason why I was not, obviously like a physician. I didn't prescribe anything, but working in the clinic, having 2 to 5 minutes with each patient, like I realized that there was a huge gap, even in me being like a chiropractor. I could have helped this person way more. Like it's not that they need their back adjusted, they need their life adjusted, and that's why I literally got out of chiro. So I was like, this isn't it. I don't feel satisfied. I don't feel fulfilled with it. And I'm having the same fucking dilemma with coaching at the moment, but it's just
Mm,
because I just don't feel valued in this profession, which sucks, but it
mm.
it is what it is. But yeah, I think I hear you for sure. I think it's pretty lame that they're just like, oh yeah, just take this when there's like thousands of multivitamins. So that person has decision fatigue and they're just like, I don't even know what to do anymore. So they don't even get the damn
I'm like,
multivitamin.
dog, just fucking at least recommend like a
One
women's
a day
a
or
one a
something. I
day,
don't know.
like legitimately like a Flintstone fucking gummy recommendation, like at least something, not just go take a multivitamin, like for Christ's sake.
They
Like,
probably don't even take a multivitamin.
dude, I bet you they don't. I bet you like their fucking breakfast is like coffee with skim milk, and like that's all they do because they don't know how to take care of themselves. So
Hmm.
therefore, it's like the doctors get sick, and
Yeah.
then they have a doctor write their medication, and I'm like, where's the baseline level health and care? You know what I'm saying? Like
it's
it's called health care, and like none of those are like being honored. It's like not health care, it's like fucking disease neglect. Like that's really what our healthcare system is, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
I'm
I
sorry, I get
agree.
triggered. This is my rant, Laura. This is my rant. I get so
Well,
upset.
I was just gonna say it's not always like I've had a really great experience with my PCP, but that is probably a diamond in the rough. Like she's very in the know with
Yeah.
more like functional approaches to things. is open to referring out to other things if it's something that she doesn't have enough information on. She's been really good with all of that, but I
Yeah.
know that that's
Mine
not.
hasn't. I'll be straight
Yeah.
up. And then my mom's because she's been so sick all of my life, and I've seen her in and out of hospitals, surgeries, surgeons, specialists, being like just bobbed around. And then I asked her to work with me for 6 weeks, and she is down 6 pounds in weight, and she can't fucking move. She's down in inflammation, and her fasting blood glucose went down 60 points. So
That's
like,
crazy.
and like again, she cannot move. And I'm not being like, what's the thing, hyperbolic. It's like she is spoon fed. She is taken to the bathroom. So like she has no functionality, but I gave her things to do in terms of how to eat, what supplements to take, and then little brain games where it's like, I want you to think about wiggling your big toe. Even though I know you can't wiggle it, think about wiggling it. And I know she's exhausted by just thinking of trying to wiggle her fingers and her toes, but she's making progress. She's getting stronger. She's able to now twitch things that she hasn't been able to move in years. So it's like at some point we also have to like understand that there is a severe neglect when it comes to the healthcare system, which is why I get so heated because I watched my mom suffer needlessly for years on end with no hope, which is
Yeah.
why I just want to anyway.
It's just, I mean, dude, it's similar to like coaches who take on way too many clients. You
Yes.
know,
Ooh,
there's
yes.
just so much they have to, they how many people do you think that they see in a day? They can't sit down and do what we do. That's why, I think health coaches and medical professionals can work together. And the
Yeah.
ones that are like, oh, fuck health coaches, they're just standing in their own way. They're just being big egotistical bullies, saying that we don't know what we're doing, we don't have the credentials for it. Like, who cares? We probably know more than you know?
Honestly, I've always felt like if you're helping somebody, what the fuck
Why
should
does
your
it
credential
matter?
matter?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
so this is actually a really good topic because the reason why it matters is that is how they are held accountable when it comes to malpractice,
Well,
right?
yeah,
So like the whole idea of like licensure,
licensure, yeah.
thank you. Yes, that word. And the idea of like medical malpractice is if a doctor really fucks up and maybe like it's fucked up so bad where their insurance is like, yo, we can't protect you, or their lawyer can't protect you. It's like they'll lose their license and therefore their credibility. But with health coaching, we don't have like a governing body. It's like any chuckle fuck can be a online coach as long as they worked with a coach for a bodybuilding prep. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no barrier to entry. And like, yes, we have certifications, continuing education, but none of that is really like recognized in terms of a formal license, which
Mhm.
can be stripped away if you kill someone, right? And that is something that is very valid that, you know what, I wouldn't mind seeing change because yeah, I think it would weed out a lot of the awful coaches that are here that are hurting their clients, whether they know it or not, especially if they know it. And it would regulate the system a little bit more. But I think that's so further down the line, unfortunately, that maybe we'll see it in our time period as coaches, but it's probably unlikely just due to how slow shit like that is.
Yeah.
I just started working with a new client last week coming from a big name team and all of that. And she came to me because she's like, I don't want to feel like I'm just a number anymore. And I'm like,
Yep.
well, tell me a little bit about your experience. What do you mean by that? Because like I've never personally experienced anything like this. Um, and she was like, well, I was only allowed to ask any type of question if it was solely my check-in
Mhm.
day. It would be like a 1 or 2 word answer. And like that was literally it. I got
Yep.
macros. I didn't get training program. I didn't get any video assessment. I didn't get any like guidance. It was here's your macros. Next.
Yep.
Like that isn't fucking coaching at all.
No.
Mm-mm.
But that is what most of these big teams have. That's what they give
Right.
them. And it sucks. Like, and then it really sucks when those people come to you and they realize, like, oh shit, like this is what coaching is. But then they get in their own way and then they don't appreciate your services after a while. It's like,
Right.
okay, cool.
And there's
Fuck this.
also, and that's like to your guys' point, because that's how they view coaching, and
Yeah.
they're spending maybe 200 or 200 to 250 bucks a month when they get on a call with us, and our services are not that. then they're like, well, why would I pay like 300 a
Yeah.
month or 350 a month or 400 a month or some cases, not like us, I don't think, but some coaches, charge 500, which I mean, they charge what they charge, but like to get them to pay even $100 more to actually be serviced properly, they're like, oh, I don't want to do that. And I'm like, but you're gonna actually make progress. Like you're actually gonna be cared for in the
Mhm.
way that you deserve. You're not just gonna be bleh, macros and then go fuck off. It's like, no, you're gonna be coached, not just given a bullshit program.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't stand that, man. It's like, and it's hard, but at the same time, like, there's only so much convincing that you can do before, like, they just literally have to see it for themselves.
Yeah.
They have
Oh,
to go back to those shitty coaches and then come hire you and then be like, oh my God, I wish I did this sooner.
Yeah, but then their
and
health is so fucked up
Oh,
too. Their
yeah.
mental health
Yeah.
too. And I'm like,
Yeah. Well,
no.
that's
makes
the
it fun,
disconnect
kids.
though. Like I feel like especially I run into this a lot too, because like I was saying to you guys earlier, I have a lot of people that come to me like even just to inquire through the gym and don't know about the in-depth of like holistic coaching through
Yeah.
online coaching and all that type of stuff. And then like you talk about pricing, whatnot, and they're like baffled by it.
Yeah.
Like, no, like I understand it's hard to get a like good grasp of what I'm describing to you, but it's a very different experience than you're probably expecting.
Yeah, dog.
Yeah, dude, like yesterday in my Q&A, like I had a lady reach out who she was prescribed like just estrogen only HRT. She's apparently in perimenopause or she's perimenopausal. And we've been talking and I like literally just gave her like free education because
Yeah.
I think that's how, sales calls should be or any type of interaction with potential clients. It's like give them a little bit to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Show them like that you know your shit. Like I didn't tell her like, "Oh, I can help you if you sign up for one-on-one coaching. Here are my prices, here's my link." I, educated her and then I found out that her doctor never even got her lab work never even looked at her labs. I'm like,
Love that.
how does she even know that you're perimenopausal? And they're
Because
just
she
like,
heard symptoms and shoved her in
yeah,
a box. Yep.
exactly. Yep. And it's like just showing her that I had the knowledge to handle this gave her the confidence that like I knew my shit. So now I feel like, okay, if we work together, she probably won't be as intimidated by the price.
Yeah.
Even though I think my pricing is honestly fucking realistic as fuck.
Yeah.
Like
All three
I
of us are. All three of us are. I feel
yeah.
like I'm starting to look around at that and seeing like I don't know about everybody, but I'm seeing a lot of people increase and change their pricing due to like inflation. And I don't know.
I
I
mean,
don't
I
feel
agree with
inclined
that,
to.
but at the same time, it's like those charging $500, $600, and especially if they're not like, I don't know, there are some coaches that I feel like charge way more money than they actually are providing a service for.
Yeah.
And like that, I mean, they do what they want to do, but like I know the three of our prices are like essentially like identical in range. And so it's like, I don't know. There's
Yeah.
there's multiple angles, you know what I'm saying? But like in my opinion, our prices are more than realistic, if anything, an undercut.
Way undercut.
Way undercut.
100% way undercut. And like, but personally, I know I should probably charge more, 100%, but
Yeah.
I don't think I will. And definitely not due to inflation, like because the amount of clients that I do have, like on my roster, I still make a very comfortable income. Sure, it's gone down, but like I've just had to back off of certain things. Like
Yep.
I don't have nails on anymore. Like, I'm cutting out expenses, but some of these coaches are like, oh, I'm raising them for inflation. It's like, dog, like, okay, eggs went up by a bit. You can't still afford your eggs. Like, do you really have to charge an extra $100 for your shit service? Probably not. You just can't, maybe buy the next Louis Vuitton belt or like, I don't know, go to
Sure.
your boys trip in Miami. Like, it's
People are
them.
losing sight of the
Yeah,
reason
like,
for coaching.
yeah, it's just you can really filter out who's in it, like who's in coaching to help people and who's in it just for like the fame, the showing off things on socials.
And
Like,
what's crazy is like, no offense, but like, we're not fucking famous. Like, if you go out in
yeah,
the real world, no one knows who the fuck
who are
Megan
you?
Santa Barbara is. No one knows who Laura Goldstein is. No one knows who Ash Markham is. Like,
I'm not offended, but by Meg's following, she might be. Because Dog.
Nah, but
But
you
like real
know,
talk though, we go in the real world and like no one fucking knows who we are. But like because the bodybuilding and health fitness community is like pretty small in comparison to people with a capital P. It's like we some people think that they're hot fucking shit, and it's like, dog, no one knows who you are. Like,
yeah,
no one gives a fuck about like your rented, I don't know, cars. McLaren, is that a cool car?
Yeah.
Like,
I
yeah,
think.
I think, right? It's like no one gives a flying fuck. So
Yeah.
it's like, but you know what we do give a flying fuck about? People. Because like people matter. We matter. And like as someone that was treated like a number on multiple occasions, it's not fucking nice to feel that way. Which is why it's like I'm sure most of us have a roster cap that's not 100 clients. It's like
Mhm.
a very reasonable cap where it's like, I have a rule, and I know it's maybe a silly rule that not everyone should apply, but not only should I know my client's name, the bare fucking minimum, I need to know one other significant person in their life. It could be their dog's name, their husband's name, their kid's name. Hopefully, I know all of them. But if I can't remember who the fuck they are, dude, that's too many people. And like, then
Yeah.
you don't even like recognize them as people anymore. You just recognize them as numbers. And that's where they start to feel like a number. So, like, that for me is just like, I don't know, it really grinds my gears. It's like you should want to help people, not help yourself with like your fucking clout bullshit.
Dude, and you, dude, for real, like, get
Meg's
to
like,
know. I said I didn't have anything to vent about, but I take it back. But no, like, get to know your people. How
Mhm.
fucked is it? Like, I had this one inquiry, like, we got on the call and she was like, yeah, I went to one of our coaches, like, open gym, whatever the fuck it was. They had all their clients there. She went up to this guy or girl, I don't know if it was a guy or girl, and they didn't even recognize them. They were like, "Who are you? Like, are you kidding me? This person pays you hundreds of dollars a month, checks in with you every single week,
I was gonna say, how do you not recognize the person from photo?
right?
Because some coaches don't have
They
fucking
won't.
progress photos.
That's crazy.
Like imagine being a physique and bodybuilding coach and not evaluating the physique.
Isn't
I
that
had to do
nuts?
that to me once. Just send me your weight every week.
Yeah, wait.
Like, what
Yeah.
are we doing, guys?
Not to mention, while I was like hyperly sensitive to even getting on the scale.
Jesus Christ. Dude, that's another thing, man. Weight doesn't matter.
No.
Holy shit. Like, I've been in prep for what, like technically 6, 7 weeks now. Haven't dropped a single pound. Sure, I'm down like 2 pounds, but it's a fluctuating weight, 197 to 200 still. And like there's still coaches who literally just die by the weight only. And I like it sucks because it's hard to break your clients of that too.
Yeah.
Like, and they know that they shouldn't, but they still are like, texting you like, my weight's still up, or oh my God, my weight's not going down. It's like 2 weeks into prep. It's like, but are you shaping up? Are you feeling leaner? Are you like, are we seeing new cuts? Are we seeing new lines? Yeah, yeah. But you're still so consumed by the scale. It's like, guys,
Right.
she,
Something that I have said that's really resonated with a lot of my clients and athletes is like, that's my number. You don't worry about that number. That's my number. You worry about your
yeah,
You worry about the numbers that actually matter in terms of like your progression. So that way you feel like you are valuing a skill like the
yeah,
gym, like your training, like your hobbies. Like I have one girl where it's like I said that to her and that resonated with her so much to where like that freed up so much mental space where now she's able to invest more time in her hobbies because she's not so consumed by what the scale does. So it's like
yeah,
sometimes like little just quips like that really do like shape a client's perspective. It's like the reason that you hired me was for me to worry about this stuff, not you. So you
mhm,
stop worrying about it and you go worry about what matters.
It's
yeah.
so all the time too. A little
And
different, but
yeah,
same.
but it's so true.
Mhm.
And like, people get so caught up in weight and bodybuilding when we forget that bodybuilding prep is not a weight loss competition, you
Mhm.
know? Like,
Bodybuilding in
sure,
general. I
it's,
have a girl the exact same weight from start to
yes,
current,
yeah,
starting prep, totally different physique.
totally different. Yeah. And same goes for like, my girl Allie, like, sure, we could have gotten leaner for her show day, but like her body composition from day one of prep to show day was
Mhm.
crazy improved. she didn't change weight like at all. Maybe like a 2 pound difference. And it's like stop chasing the scale, and it sucks because like I've done it too. I've done it recently too where I'm like I look in the mirror before I step on that scale and I'm like, "Damn, like cool. I my stomach looks leaner. I'm seeing vascularity in my legs. I'm like, this is definitely gonna be a new low." I step on that bitch and it's like up 2, 3 pounds. I'm like, fuck. And then I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, ugh, I look kind of fat actually. It's like fuck off, you know? Like if the scale changes your attitude after like before and after you step on it, you know that it's probably a time to like take a break from the scale. And I think we all are good with that when we recognize like, oh, our clients are being a little too anal, a little bit too hyper focused on that number, that we're like, take a break. Take a 3, 4 day break from the scale. It's not gonna break you, you know?
Something that I said to one of my clients, I think a lot of people need to hear, and maybe you guys, it'll resonate with yourselves or resonate with your clients and athletes, but bodies can be frustrating, but brains can be cruel. So don't let it get to your heart. And that's something that I feel like a lot of people literally need to understand and like hold on to it because like yeah, like bodies get sick, bodies get injured, bodies get tired. Bodies are an imperfect system. But your
Mhm.
brain, especially if you have been in such a self-hatred, beating yourself down mode, your brain will be so fucking cruel. But the nice thing is you can do the work that you need to do on your mental health, work with a therapist, work with a qualified mental health professional to help to learn and to sing a new tune, right? But like again, your brain's going to revert back to what it knows. And if all you know is how to beat up on yourself, you need to unlearn and detrain yourself how to do that. And it's hard to do, absolutely. But like the three of us can step on the scale now and it's just a number because that's literally all it should be is just a number. It shouldn't be
Mhm.
your self-worth. But a lot of people haven't learned that because they follow the wrong people or they were given the wrong advice early on and they trained themselves. So it's just really important to kind of recognize those toxic behaviors and traits so you can unlearn them and then replace them with something better.
Yeah. Nailed it.
Good
Mic
talk.
drop. Mic
Mic
drop.
drop.
Yeah.
Okay, one question. If you could be any animal, what would you be and why?
Ugh. Definitely not a tarantula. Uh, no, I think I'd be a sloth.
Why? Pray
They're
tell.
just like they're so chill. It's like they smoked like a big old joint and just like fucking like just chilled. They're just cool. Yeah.
I've always liked white tigers, so I have no reason as to why I would be one other than that I like
Spicy.
them.
Oh, I
So
like that for you.
Exotic. I like it. Yeah.
I like that. I
Cool.
honestly would just want to be a black bear. Like,
I got one
just
of those in the bedroom. Do you want
that's
one?
what I'm saying, right? Like, just I just want to be a black bear. I just want to be hanging out, chilling in the woods, like, eating some fish, eating some berries, just shitting on the trail and not giving a fuck. Like, plus,
Worms
like,
trailing.
Worms coming out your ass.
worms coming out of my ass. I just don't give two shits. Like some people might leave a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on the trail for me. I'm gonna eat that shit. I'm gonna be thankful. Yeah, I'm just gonna have a happy little bear just like scratch my back on a tree. Like that, just what a great life.
Yeah.
I
I
dig
like
it.
that.
Yeah. All right, what are we
I don't
grateful
know.
for? So we can wrap this shit up too, because I know Laura's gotta go.
Ooh,
Ooh.
man. Mm, I am grateful for um 2 things. One, Finn, because he was a little blessing that we thought was going to be a lot. He is a lot, but like he definitely has completed our family, which is
Oh.
very nice. And Chip has a little friend. I don't know how excited Rolo is with having 2 little doodles, like trying to like hump him and
Rolo's
stuff.
over here like kill me.
But no, our little fam bam is complete. And also I am very grateful for Will as of recently, just because of all the going through it, mentally with like coaching and dealing with stuff. And he definitely calls me out on my bullshit, and he helps me
Mm.
realize like what I'm doing is actually I'm good. I'm a good coach. I'm doing good. And I stand by my people, and it's not a me issue. And he's helping me like kind of take myself out of it, kind of, take a step back, which is nice.
You need that.
I like that. Laura, do you want to go or do you want me to go?
Uh, I had it while Meg was talking, and now I forget you go.
So sorry.
Okay, no good. I feel like this sounds dumb to be thankful for, but like I am thankful for the fact that Eric has gone from a 4 day split to a 3 day split because he is now able to spend more time doing hobbies for himself or work around the house, which I know brings him a lot of joy. And as his partner, I love seeing him express his himself in a way that's not just the gym. Because while I know he prioritizes his health and fitness goals, I also know that he's not a bodybuilder and his goals aren't my goals. And so the fact that I'm able to see him like be proud of the fact that he organized like one of our closets and got like a really nice like big shelving unit that's on wheels and he was like so pumped about it. He was
Nice.
like he
You
was like
saw
legit.
showed him wheeling it on
Yeah,
in.
dude, he was wheeling that shit all over the house, right? Just making a total fucking just but like it's so nice to see him play because I know what a good caretaker and provider he is for our family, but to see him like bring out his silly side, that to me does my heart good. So I'm very thankful to see my husband play.
That's nice.
That sounds so gay, but I don't give a fuck.
No, I like that.
Mine's almost as bad. You can't see it because it blacks out the background. So it's been, I don't know if you guys can relate this, but it's been really cold and really dark and dreary this
Hmm.
entire winter. This is one of the worst winter. I don't know why I'm so dark all of a sudden.
It's because it's dark and
There you
wintry.
go.
This has been one of the worst winters we've had in a really long time. Not so much as far as snow, but it's freezing. It's been raining a fucking lot. It's just been like
Yeah.
really depressing. And like I've always been someone that struggles with that. The last couple of days has been like kind of 50 degrees-ish and like sunny out. And you don't realize like how much it just like uplifts your soul to have just that little bit of like nice weather and like, okay, I can get through the next like
Hmm.
month and a half and then it won't be so bad.
Right.
Hmm.
I like
Dude, for
that.
sure.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I
Hmm.
like that. All right, ladies, great podding with you. We'll see you next time. Bye. Have a
Bye.
good one.